Hello, welcome back to the brand new session. In this session, we will discuss how to create a virtual machine with the help of VMware Workstation Pro. In the last session, we discussed how to download and how to install VMware Workstation Pro. Instead of VMware, you can use other alternative as well. Like you can use Oracle VM Box, right? Oracle VM Virtual Box. You can use it for the same purpose. It will also allow you to create a virtual machine and to run a multiple operating system. Instead of this, you can also use AWS service as well because it is a cloud environment. So yes, you can use this as well. But you need to have a subscription. So you can use a free trial for 12 months of AWS service. So we will see how to create a VM in the VMware Workstation Pro. So in the last session, we downloaded and installed the VMware Workstation Pro. In my case, you can see that there is no any directory except VMware and accessibility, I think so. Yeah. So I don't like the directories in start folder or start menu. So what I will do, I'll just click on this. I'll right click on VMware Workstation Pro and I'll just go to open file location. And you know what I'll do? I will just get these two application and I will just paste it into the new directory and I will allow this. So now it is pasted. So now what I'll do, I will just remove this directory. So now just go to VMware Workstation Pro. So you can see that I am having. Please make sure there will be two options: VMware Workstation 17 Player, which is a classic view. But if you want an advanced graphical view, so yes, you can just go through VMware Workstation Pro. I'm just clicking on the VMware Workstation Pro. So this is a graphical view of VMware Workstation Pro. So this is a header bar where you can create a new virtual machine. You can add a new window. You can also open a VM if you have in your system. Scan for virtual machine. You can also configure auto start VMs. You can close the tabs. You can also connect to a server if you have any external server, or you can also export to OVF if you have a lot of virtual machines. So yes, you can do that. In edit menu, you can just go to cut, copy, paste, and then virtual network editor if you want to configure your manual network. So yes, and in preference you can just go to VM setting, right? So this is how we can just have a look into this VMware Workstation preference. View, you can also click on full screen if you want. Auto size, auto fit the guest, center guest, or auto fit window. This is all are the settings which you want. You can just configure according to your requirement, and this is a VM. All options are deemed because there is no any VM, so we will create one. And this is the tabs, then help section if you want any kind of help. Then there are some icons like if you want to start, stop, hibernate, or if you want to suspend your VM, if you want to restart your virtual machine, if you want to take a snapshot. What are the snapshot we will discuss in the next session, don't worry. And this is all about the views if you want this kind of views, right? Full screen. So yes, you can do that. So these are the basic options. So we'll just go through the create a VM virtual machine. So here you are having two options, typical and custom. I will recommend you can just go through the custom option. Click next. Now this is the compatibility. If you are creating any VM in the VMware Workstation Pro 17, so if you want to open this virtual machine in lower version in another system, so yes, you can do that. But I don't want that because this is a new version and all the features will be new. So yes, I want a compatibility of 17.x. I'm clicking next. So the next option is installer disk image file, that is ISO. So ISO is the most important file to create a VM, or you can say to run a multiple operating system, or maybe to run any operating system in the VMware. So for that, you need to have ISO file for any kind of operating system. In my case, I just want to run a Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So yes, I'll just go through this link. You can also go through this link and you can just go to download RHEL at no cost because it's an open source. So yes, you can just click on it. Make sure you are having an account. If you don't have, so you can just register for a Red Hat account and it is totally free of cost. So I'm having my own account, so I'll just go through that particular process and I'll just log in. And now you can see that it will ask me for downloading the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system of the latest version. So here are some examples as you can see that on my screen right now, right? So now it is asking me for Red Hat Base OS 9.1. So actually in my case, I'm already downloaded the Red Hat Enterprise Linux Base OS 9.0 and sorry 9.1. So yep, I have already downloaded, so that's why I'm just canceling this option. You can also download from the same link. So but again, I'll not add the operating system file right now, so I will install the operating system later. I'll click next. In my case, I'm going with Linux operating system, and in my case I'm using Red Hat Linux 9. The point is, if you are not having the latest version of Red Hat in this list, so you can select the latest one and you can apply for the latest downloaded Red Hat Enterprise Linux version. Let's consider if you are not having Red Hat Linux 9 here, but you downloaded the Red Hat 9.1, so you can choose Red Hat Linux 8, and at the time of adding file, you can add Red Hat 9.1. That will not create any kind of problem. So yes, you can use that one. But in my case, I am also having the 9. So that's why I am choosing the same and I'll click on next. So it is asking me to create a name for the virtual machine. So you can add any kind of name. So in my case, I am just creating a Red Hat. I'll just go with, let's consider I'm just creating a name master. And I'll just go with the browse location because I don't want to keep this virtual machine in my local system, or sorry, in local disk C. So I'll just go with D, and I'll just create a one directory in a D folder. So I'll create virtualization, right? Or you can create all VMs. So I'm just going and I'll create one more directory, Red Hat master, right? So okay, fine, Red Hat master, and yep, I'll click on next. Please choose the processor and the cores per processor according to your requirement. This is a memory for the virtual machine, so you can choose 4 GB 2 GB according to your requirement. In my local system, I'm having 16 GB of RAM, so I'm just giving 2 GB. It will be sufficient because it's recommended. So okay, I'll click next. Now you can use bridge networking, NAT, or maybe host only. I will recommend that you can use bridge or maybe NAT because in bridge network, your local system and this Red Hat system will be in same network. But if you are going with NAT, so yes, both will be in different network. So according to your requirement, yes, you can just go with that particular option according to your requirement. So in my case, I am going with NAT for now, and if we required, so we can change afterward. Now this is IO controller, that is input output controller types, that mean small computer system interface controller. So yes, if it is recommended, yes, I'll just go with the same. You can choose the disk type. I will recommend to use as CSI or maybe SATA. Then select disk, create a new virtual disk, use an existing if you are having any existing virtual disk, so yes, you can use, or if you are having any external disk, so yes, you can also use that. But right now I'm creating a new virtual disk. 20 GB, if it is recommended, then yes, I'll just go with 20 GB, and I will store virtual disk as a single file. Click next. And now this is a disk name, so you can rename according to your requirement. I'll just click next. And this is ready to create a virtual machine. So you can finish, or you can also customize your hardware. But let me just finish this setting. And now you will see your VM will be here. Now you can also go through the edit virtual machine setting. This is a memory if you want to change, processor if you want to change. There are three options. Please understand, if you want to create, or if you want to run virtual machines in this virtual machine, so you need to check this kind of things, because as we discussed earlier in the previous session, that we need to enable virtualization support in BIOS. So for that, you need to enable this option as well if you are going to create VMs in this virtual machine, right? That means I just want to tell you virtual machine in virtual machine, right? So but in this case we are not going to do that. So okay, fine, I am okay with that. Then hard disk capacity, it's same. ISO image, that is important, and we already downloaded that image. So okay, fine, I'll just go through my download option and I will select the rel. And then the network adapter you can also change if you want, if you are looking for same. Then I will show all USB input devices. Sound card, not necessary to configure. Printer display, it's not mandatory to configure. Now the second option is options. You can change the name of virtual machine, enhance keyboard setting if you want. I don't want that right now. And I also want the close after powering off the suspend and report battery information to the guest as well. This is a nice option. I will recommend to use always enabled. Why? Because you can copy and paste from the base machine to the virtual machine, or you can say you can copy or paste from the physical machine to your virtual machine. So I'll add some of the disk. In my case, I'll select like D, right? I will select C as well. So you can select C drive, right? If you are planning to copy and paste from the local disk C to the virtual machine, so yes, you can enable all these features. So I have added two disks from my local machine. And yes, if you are going to copy and paste from your physical machine to the virtual machine or vice versa, so yes, you can do that only for these two disks, right? So yep, that's fine. And I don't think so. Please make sure your guest isolation should be enabled for both of them. Otherwise, you cannot copy and paste. I will also synchronize the guest time with host, update automatically for VMware tools updates. And other than that, I don't want anything. Okay. And now this is fine. So this is how we can create a virtual machine. And this is a simple process. And in the next session, we will see how to install a Red Hat operating system.